Hello, hope you're all well, staying indoors, staying safe. This is the episode where we get to look under the bonnet of Baby Blue. So there you go. Series 2 Plus Millington Diamond in all its glory. These are just sex on legs. When you look in there, it's hard not to fall in love with them. They are probably the strongest engine out there. Lots of little features on them. Everything's pretty much built in-house. As most of you probably know, Millington have been in this business for 35 years. This particular Series 2 Plus and the Series 2s are so far away from anything else. At the very beginning, they would have been based on a Cosworth engine. Normally aspirated Cosworth with the turbo removed and a lot of head work done. Now they've got to the stage where it's their own block, their own head, their own design, their own throttle bodies, everything. It's all bespoke Millington. This latest spec, this engine is about 18 months old. It's got the latest 421 exhaust manifold. It's got their roller barrel throttle bodies. It's got a dry sump pump that runs off the timing belt. So you have no extra belts on the side of the engine. It's got direct coil packs, one per cylinder. Mine runs on the Link ECU, as I told you before. Robbie Thornton at TDP looks after that and sets it up for me. It's been very successful. This particular one was mapped late last year, so it's putting out 345 brake horsepower at the flywheel and about 265 foot-pound of torque, which is the important figure for me. Torque is king. I always believe the old saying, brake horsepower sells engines, torque wins rallies. I remember speaking to a different engine builder many years ago, and he told me that you didn't need torque. Formula 1 engines don't have any torque. I've never seen a Formula 1 engine going up Knockalla, so torque is still king as far as I'm concerned. If I can get the air filter off handy, I'll show you in to what I think is the coolest part of these engines, or the thing that I get the most joy out of is the roller barrel throttle system. For those of you who don't know what a roller barrel throttle system is, it's pretty much, I'll be able to see in here. There are no butterflies in these engines and these throttle bodies. So you can see down there, you can't really see that well. When I open her up, it opens it up that there's no restriction whatsoever. That's better. And the camera focuses on that. I'm not making a great hand of this. Look at that. Straight down in, straight to the inlet valves. No butterfly, no spindle, no nothing. That's all built into their head. It's not even in the inlet manifold, it's down in the head. It runs all the way through, obviously, back to the throttle system at the very back. That is a cool bit of kit. I love that idea. That's a lot of engineering to do that. What else? I run this on Panta fuel, Panta 102 octane. It's been very reliable over the years. I've been using Panta, 6-7 years now, and never had an issue. Great consistency of the fuel quality. I run Group 4's Safari spec radiator, so it's 70mm thick, which is a good bit thicker than usual. Under bonnet heat is an issue with any engine. These, especially with that 421 exhaust manifold, for some reason create an awful amount of under bonnet heat, which obviously causes all kinds of issues. My bonnet has a good big vent to get the heat out, which is a big help. But I've been running this radiator now for a season or two, and that's also a good thing, so I never have any heating issues at all. Generally, we're sitting 85, 86, 87 degrees through a stage, even with good weather and long stages, it's not a problem. I've opened the side of onto the bonnet, I've opened it all up in here, both sides. I took it all away basically, and just made 2 brackets for the radiator, so it gets good gulps of air in there. I haven't done anything specifically about cool air boxes or trying to work on the cool air. That's something I'm going to have to work on, because I think there's good gains to be had from that. So some stage in the future I'll work at maybe a cool air box or some way of getting more cool air in there. Mk2 Motorsport, that does all my Kevlar and fiberglass bonnets and all the bits and pieces, they have a nice design of a bonnet that they're fine tuning to bring in more air, and when that comes online, I think that'll be a good job. It'll be beneficial. So what else? I've told you about the dry sump. Rev wise, you can rev these as far as you want, basically, as often as you want. Obviously, the more you rev them, the more often they're going to need a rebuild. Generally, the rebuild is about 1,000 stage miles. This one's set, I think the limiter is 8.8. Really, after 8, you know, these things pull that strong. There's such a wide torque band. You don't need to rev them that hard. I do tend to rev the nuts off it, but you don't need to. 8,000 is plenty, and even less than that, 7.8 is plenty. The way it produces its power, you just don't need to do that, but it sounds so sweet, it's hard not to be revving the nuts off the bloody thing all the time. It's addictive, is what it is. It's just addictive. You just can't help it. Every time I step into this thing and take it for a spin down the road, I just get that butterflies in my stomach, no matter how often you're in it. And no matter what you're doing, it's just an addictive thing. I've had some great engines over the years, from Mk2 Duratax and Vauxhall XEs, red tops, 2 litres, 2.5s. Some really good strong engines, and loved them, and you know, great engines. But this thing is just a step above, and you just can't. Once you've had this, you can't go back. It's like a drug, is what it is. But you need to look after it. It's like everything, you need to look after it. I use a specific oil, which I haven't got a drum to hand, but I'll put a picture in the comments. As I say, the cooling's important, making sure everything's good under the bonnet. Fuel pressure, dry sump, the remote fuel filter for the oil, and I keep the pressure regulator on the inner panel. I don't like it on the engine with vibrations and stuff. It usually causes problems. It's got a high torque starter on it. The dry sump, I'll show you the boot in the next episode, or maybe the episode after, and the dry sump tank's in the boot, so all the piping goes all down through the car to there, so you have just a scavenge pump taking it all out of the engine and taking it back to the back. I use this reflective stuff, as a lot of people does. The cool stuff looks, the gold stuff looks cool. I don't know if it's this particular stuff that I have, but it's just shite. It's the most unsticky, useless, bad looking stuff I've ever used. Next time I slaughter this thing and the whole thing's to pieces again, it'll not be going back on again. It's just been a torture, but there you go. You live, you learn. So there you go. As a good friend of mine always says, and I keep quoting him, having a Millington is like swimming with a shark. It's just trying to kill you all the time. I'll leave you on that note. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.